Welcome to another episode of But Make It Funny podcast, where we will be unpacking life, love, loss, using our sense of humor. I'm one of your hosts, Zay.
And I'm your other host, Yessie. And today we have at Miss Well and Woke herself, Dayna, who is a licensed social worker. We're so happy to have you here, Day.
Hey, what's up, everybody? And I'm excited to be here.
Talk to me hey, bitch.
It's the
Yes.
titties for me. See y'all. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So today we'll be talking about why it's okay to take naps sometimes. Let's get into it. All right, y'all. So how we feeling? What we drinking on before we get into this episode? What you got in your cup, Zay?
Okay, so Zay. Zay and Day. We're gonna get it confused the whole show. We're gonna get it confused the whole show. Okay, so in my cup, I got some 24K gold champagne.
You know me, I drink. Like, you know me.
She do. I was feeling a little bougie today. If you can't tell by the sweater, I was feeling bougie. So I'll be drinking on that today. What you drinking on today?
I'm sipping on the Pinot Project. You know, you got to keep a bottle of red,
Mm-mm.
right? But then I'm a little hood with it, so I got a little ginger ale to bust it back with. So, you know.
I love that. And I'm drinking Pinot Grigio from whatever company this is.
Mhm.
Basically, as long as I get drunk, that's all that matters.
That's really what
Cheers.
matters. Cheers to it.
Yes,
Just cheers.
y'all. All right, so today, we're gonna be talking a whole bunch about exhaustion and fatigue and all that stuff. So I figure for our icebreaker game, it would be great to talk about different instances where we felt really fucking exhausted. So, I'll introduce, like in Wild 'N Out where they be like, how fly are you? I'll be like, how tired are you? And then y'all let me know, what happened this week or before that, got you feeling exhausted. Sound good?
Yes.
Good.
All right, so I can start off so that we can get a vibe for how the game goes. So I'm gonna say, I'm so tired.
How tired are you?
I'm so tired that I fell asleep with my outside clothes on.
It is so bad, I want to give you a 0, but that's not possible. So I give you a 1.
That's nasty now. That's
Right? You
disgusting.
can put all the outside into the. I don't know.
Into the bed. You would get a whooping. If we was younger, you would get a whooping for that.
That's exhaustion for you.
It
That's
is.
exhaustion
It
where
is.
nothing else matters.
It is. I got one. Oh, I got a perfect one.
Okay.
I'm so tired.
How tired are you?
I'm so tired that while on the phone the other day, talking to my best friend, I was looking for my phone. And I was so frustrated that I couldn't find my phone while I was on the phone.
Oh, you need to take a nap. That was it.
Yeah, that's how tired I was. I was like, I can't, where's my phone? Motherfuckers like, you're on the phone. I'm like, oh.
That happens to me with my glasses. I'll have my glasses on my face and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I gotta go to work. Where's my shit at? And I don't know.
And they be on your face the whole time.
They be on my face.
Yeah, I got one, y'all, but I feel like y'all gonna judge me.
Oh, no. We don't judge here. We don't judge here at all.
You can't leave the house no more. That's you exhausted. Okay. I'm so tired.
How tired are you?
So I was driving to work the other day, and for the first 5 minutes, I left my cell phone on top of the roof of my car. Cause I was be late to work, and so I was trying to move, and I was just like, "Oh, I gotta get there." But I thought it was a little distant. I'm like, "Wait, what's going on?" Something a little shaky. Stop the car. It's luckily it stayed on the hood. It stayed.
You got the little magnet thing. You got the little magnet thing.
Yeah.
Lifesaver.
Wow.
That shit was a lifesaver because motherfuckers love their phone. I love my phone.
I do. I was hurt too. I was like, oh no, you need a nap. You gotta hide under the desk when you get to work and take a nap.
Right. Then you start apologizing to the phone like, I am so sorry. I did not mean to do that to you.
Oh my goodness. So how about now we switch gears and we talk about things that we're tired of doing or things that we're tired of experiencing.
Ooh.
And there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, let me drink to that because I'll stay tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I know that's right. Let me think. What's something that I'm tired of? What am I not tired of would be the better question because I'm tired of
Right?
everything.
Like,
Oh, I got you. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of labor. It is not who I am meant to be. We are meant to be on a beach, sipping a frozen margarita,
Amen.
thriving.
Amen.
That's what I'm tired of.
You just preach that. You just preach that, girl.
that's a word.
You just preach that. But to piggyback on what you said though, I'm tired of working just to pay bills. Like
Mm.
it's a cycle that people didn't tell me about when I was growing up because I was younger. I was like, oh, I can't wait to be grown. I hate it here. But like now it's like, excuse me, this shit is ghetto. Like this grown shit is ghetto. Anybody tell me it was this ghetto?
Yes, I'm over the adulting 100%.
Ain't nobody tell me it was so ghetto.
I feel hoodwinked and bamboozled.
At this point, give me my
Wait.
childhood back.
Who was it that said that they was like, I too was hoodwinked and bamboozled?
No, for real. What's that one? No, what's that one? TikTok. He was like, I was out nigga, and I'd never be out nigga again. That's how I be feeling sometimes going to work.
Oh my gosh. Well, I empathize with all of us. Like we're just all exhausted and we need some rest. But let's pivot into talking about what's happening right now in the world because there's a lot of shit going on. You know what? That's something else I'm tired of. Well, there was a meme and it was like I'm tired of living through major historical events. Like I don't want to do it no more. Like I just want to live a regular life. Why do we got to live through a war, through a pandemonium? You know, why?
Now we're
Why?
gonna be the old people in the classroom teaching the kids like back in my day we
But
had a
it's
pandemic.
like, as millennials, I feel like every 10 years we get hit with the whammy. It's like, what's going on?
I'm definitely gonna be the type of old person. I'm gonna exaggerate everything. So things were bad already. I'm gonna make it 20 times worse. So that my grandkids are like, "Wow, grandma, you were so great." And I'm like, "Yeah, motherfuckers."
Where you get a little snow, be like the blizzard of 62.
All right. If we take a step back though, every generation that went through something because the 20s had the bootleggers, the gangsters, the 30s was the Great Depression, the 40s was the Mecca, like the New Age, 50s and 60s was civil rights and racism. So we kind of on track like every 10 years to go through some shit. I just feel like our 10 years it's been like every year, like
Yeah,
each year they counted for one of their 10 years. Like we done went through some shit every fucking year.
we did all of that stuff in a small time frame. I feel like we done had the
Mhm.
20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. It's speeding up on us.
And that's where I'm getting
Absolutely.
tired of. So, did y'all see about the Chris Brown case? Remember, so recently it was like episode 3 when we was talking about Chris Brown and the girl said that like he raped her on the boat, and then my comment was like, whatever she said he did, you know. But shit, after this week, with the knowledge that I got, like her calling him like that's the best dick I ever had, and
Allegedly. Allegedly.
no, they got the calls. They got the
You
calls.
sure? Okay, because we,
Yeah,
we
they
don't got
got the
money for
calls.
He released
lawsuits.
the
No,
footage.
yeah, they
Okay.
released the footage of the calls. So the rape was alleged. The rape was alleged, but the calls is factuals. They got them bitches. So I just like to say, Chris Brown, I sincere apologize to the me tearing down your character. I didn't know she was a hoe like that. Like, but I should have known when a bitch say she get raped and then ask for $20 million. Ain't that prostitution?
20 million was just a lot of money. Like I think I was just like, wow, like that's a lot of money.
I think
And
it's a little cringy when people say they put a price tag on something like that because it's just like that's not really what it's hitting for. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially to price tag your trauma. Like,
She
yeah,
did put a fucking price tag. Oh, that was good. That's a soundbite. She definitely put a price tag on her trauma. This is why you
absolutely.
here. This is why she here. I like having licensed people around. Like they put the shit I be saying so eloquently. Like, All right, so they have the recordings, but some new stuff I found out yesterday was that the girl lawyer stepped down. He was like, "Nah, girl, I'm not fucking with this." Like, so he stepped down. He said he's not fucking with it. So that's
Because he
that on that
realized that she don't got a case, like no more. Like those calls probably just dissolved whatever
case or
case
whatever
or
she
leverage she
said
had.
happened.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
know what it is right now? All she's gonna do is get hit with a defamation of character suit. Because
Yep.
really, now I'm gonna clap back. I feel like Chris Brown is low hanging fruit. Everybody
Yeah.
know he has a tendency to have inappropriate behavior towards women, allegedly. You know,
Mm-hmm.
some things confirmed, some things not so much. So I feel like he was an easy target.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But shit, gotta be quicker than that. All right, so next we got Cardi B. So people was asking to see her babies, and Cardi B, being the troll that she is, she uploaded a picture like, here, there you go, and it was just a picture of the baby eye, and then people got mad and said she just like attention, like they tired of her, she's like attention, but then also the same people was asking to see the baby. Like, my question is, like, is it all right to see her baby? Like, she don't have to upload this. Like, people acting like she have to upload a picture of the baby. What y'all feel about that?
Okay, I feel like it's a little wild. I understand when you take a role as a celebrity, right, and you're in the public eye, you are opening us to your life. And I don't feel like every aspect of your life I gotta know. I mean, girl, I don't need to know when you're gluing in your track, when you're sewing it in. I need to know all the details. But something like kids, you show me your pregnancy. You know, you tell me all the issues that you got going down with your baby daddy, your husband. So I feel like to hold that back just makes us have more questions, you know? And out of curiosity, it's not uncommon for us to say, like, what is your family dynamic? Since you're showing us that this is what it looks like to be young and doing it, I want to see the whole thing. I want to see you do it, sis.
Yeah. Yes. Like if the baby's ugly, she could just say that because that's okay. Like babies sometimes are ugly and they grow out of that, and that
He
is
Mm-hmm.
daddy's
fine.
son.
Yeah, yeah.
We
Nah,
seen a
but
lot of ugly people.
all jokes aside, like I feel like so many celebrities do that where like they hide their kids for a certain amount of time and stuff like that. And I guess I get it because maybe you don't want people like sending ill wishes, but ultimately, once you do decide to show your kids, that still is gonna happen. Cause like she did the same thing with Culture. Like she didn't show her for a long time, and then she did, and everything was fucking fine. Like,
Yeah.
so sometimes like I can understand where they want to come from, but it's also like they said, like you kind of there's like this unspoken agreement that you make when you decide to be a public figure, and part of being a public figure is being public, and so you got to give the people what they want, especially if they're the
Mm-hmm.
people that keeping your career on track, because if they're the people listening to your music, if they're the people buying your clothes, if they're the people supporting your business ventures, like give them what they want. Like I know that sounds a little bit entitled, but
It's
ultimately,
kind of it's kind of like, if you're gonna be private, be private. If you're gonna be public, be public. So she tried to teeter the line when she want to be private and when she want to be public, and that's kind of like
mhm.
a sad case. But moving on, have you guys seen in the news, right, about the Black Panther director? What is his name? I don't know his name. Ryan something.
Ryan
Ryan
Coogler?
Coogler.
Coogler. Okay, Ryan Coogler. He went into the bank. He slipped the bank teller a note and was like, he wanted to take out $12,000 out of his account. He gave her his ID and everything. And the bank teller called the police and said somebody's trying to rob the bank. And then the police come in there with their guns drawn on him. Um, like, I just don't know how to feel about that, because it's a lot of questions that need to be answered though. For both parts, it's a
Truthfully.
lot of questions that needs to be answered. What are some of those questions that we have about this situation?
Let's start with the little note. Like, I don't understand why he rolled into the bank like, sis, give me the cash. Like, what? Like, who he thought was gonna jock and hear him in the bank? Like, you could have whispered. I don't understand this whole.
Yeah.
And no offense, it's only $12,000. Like it wasn't like you was taking out like half a mil or something. Like it's okay. It's tax season. Everybody taking out thousands out of their bank account.
Mhm.
So it's okay, Ryan. It's okay to
But
speak what you need.
to his defense, $12,000. We don't know where he was at, because if you're in the hood and you say $12,000, motherfuckers get to like. Because I done cashed a check before, and motherfuckers be there like, oh. Like, and it only been like $900, you know. Like, so to his defense, we don't know what hood he was in, but also the bank teller, if he give you a note, he gives you his ID. Why don't you register to say, let me look and see if this man even have an account?
Well, I
What?
don't know if you know, I don't know if you know, Zay, but part of the bank robbing protocol now is to give the bank tellers your ID in order to aid them in capturing you after you're done robbing the bank. I don't know if you knew that.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
bank robbers, they do that now. So like
okay.
they want you to know who it is that's robbing the bank. So that's why she got confused. I don't know if you knew that that changed because before we didn't do that, but now bank robbers do provide
Do you think it's color?
identification.
Do you think color has something to do with it though? Like, do you think she?
100%.
Yeah.
I think it's set into perception on how they would look at somebody like him come in and
Yeah.
snatch you. Now I can't profess to say what he had on or like how he came into the bank. Is it me wearing my basketball shorts and a t-shirt versus me coming in a three-piece suit asking for the money? Because a lot of that has ties into how people perceive you. And it's
Yeah.
crazy to say it like that. I should be able to go into the bank with a bonnet. If I ask for $12,000 and I have it in my bank account, cash me out. That's it.
Absolutely.
But there's still a perception where somebody could say, like, well, how did this person come about it? Should I alert somebody to the fact that they're
Yeah.
accessing these funds? And that's just a crazy way that we use bias to determine how people should move.
Yeah, and that was a definitely unconscious bias on her end. I think she should do her due diligence in this situation. Like, if somebody, I'm gonna look up if I'm the bank teller, you send me a note, and the note was it's been a picture of the note uploaded. It had details on it, like he's taking out my account, blah blah blah, and then an ID with his full name. My first thing would be to look. Her first thing was to go call the police and tell the police that. But also, it could have went totally different. Like, it could have been his life because the police came in there gun drawn. Like, so if he would have moved suddenly with his phone, they be looking for her. Well, I don't think
But
they look for her. Some of them don't look for her, but some of them be looking for ways to be like, okay, pop up, he had a gun and it was a phone, like, and his life is over.
do we know what happened like after? Like,
They detained him. They detained him
Wow.
for about an hour until they figured everything out, and then they let him go.
And this was in
and then
Atlanta,
nothing
right?
happened to the. Oh, was
It was
it?
where?
It was in Atlanta.
I don't know where it was. I didn't get that deep. According to our
I'm
sources,
I'm trying
um,
to think to myself, like, well, what happened to the bank teller? Because one thing that I'm really sick and tired of is people getting away with mistakes that can cost people their life. That's
mm-hmm,
not okay. That's not
mm-hmm.
okay because I'm pretty sure when they let him go, they probably apologize, like, oh, sorry for the misunderstanding. Have a great day. That's not enough for me. That's not enough for me because you just detained me for an hour and you just like that's a costly, like Zay said, like he could have gotten shot and he could have been killed because of her bias and her ignorance. So she needs to face some type of consequences for that. And it's like the same story that we hear all the time. It's like people can get away with playing with other people's lives, and that's not cool. Like that's I don't know. It pisses me off.
It does.
Also, have y'all seen the news? And this is kind of off the script, but have y'all seen in the news that Emmett Till's family is calling for the lady who said that he did something to her, and then on the stand said that he didn't do anything to her, to be charged with murder in
Yes.
Mississippi?
I'm with that.
110%. I mean, like, let's think about the logistics of that. How do you come out many years later, decades later, and say, I lied? And I just wanted to clear my conscience. I just had to get that up. You lived your entire life. You lived it out. You had your family. You enjoyed all that the world has to offer. And his family suffered generations of devastation. And that's just cool to say, like, all right, I cleared it out. Y'all good now? Y'all feel better that I
Yeah.
apologize? It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yes, lock her ass up.
How old is she at this point?
I don't know. She like in her 60s, like it got to be 60s to 70s.
Wow. I
You
don't give
want
a fuck if
her?
she 97, if she on
Lock
her
that bitch up
deathbed. Lock that bitch up. Absolutely.
and throw away the fucking key.
I
I'm
want the
so
kids too.
serious.
Throw her, the kids, her
The
husband.
Yeah.
grandkids, all of them.
Everybody got to go. Everybody
Yep.
who knew, anybody that she probably told that you're an accessory to the crime. You knew. She told
Yeah.
you, oh, yeah, he ain't really doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? No, everybody got to go.
So speak.
I can't, but like, I think about like sometimes like when I do things and I feel guilty and I'm just like, the guilt is too much, even for the smallest things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't like this burden of guilt. She did something so fucking grave that resulted in the mutilation and the death of an innocent boy, And she lived 40 plus years of her life knowing that she was the reason for that. And she felt perfectly fine living. Like, I can't. It's either she didn't feel no guilt at all, or she felt
Mm-hmm.
guilt, but not enough to want to absolve herself
Say
and
something.
admit that she was a murderer. I
Yeah.
can't. I fucking
So
can't.
speaking of locking her up and throwing away the key, have we seen that Jesse Smollett was sentenced to 5 months in jail on a felony account because of the depiction of, he said, what happened about him being racially profiled. Um, 5 months.
Look, 150 days, I feel like he got a slap on the wrist because that's how much time he's actually going to serve inside of jail. The rest of that is probation. He got enough money just to sit there and skate on that. The reality of it is nobody can tell me why he did it. Like, there's no reasoning or rationale for why he did this, why it was necessary to create or fabricate this whole situation where you were being like racially targeted in society. But the scary thing is what he did in court. Like, I don't know if y'all seen the footage or like
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what did he do? What did he do?
So I just want to say, I am not suicidal, and if something happened to me in jail, it wasn't me. And then he did like the Black Power thing.
like he up here plugging like what?
Now he's sticking with it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Like and even the people, the case was proven. Like the people that he said did it to him, they said they was hired by him. They all used to be ex-lovers. Like,
Yes.
they told everything. Like, and he's still sticking to the story that he don't know them. Like, and they attacked him out of nowhere. Like, it's crazy. Like,
But you see, it's something to be said about how the justice system has no problem sentencing him for false accusations. But we just finished talking about this white woman who lied for so many years, and we still struggling to even get them to consider to charge her for
mm-hmm.
murder. For murder.
Because her crime was
And
her lie was way more devastating than his
right,
Yeah.
lie.
right.
Different
And it's
strokes
that
for
double
different folks.
standard. Yeah. Damn. That was crazy. I remember when that shit first, yeah, and y'all remember when it first came out, there was people that was like, something's not adding up about this story. This shit sound a little fishy. And we was like, no, we need to start believing our people. There's no way that,
Mm-hmm.
and then look at us now.
It was right after the George Floyd stuff too. He wanted
Yeah.
attention, but who goes to Subway at 3 o'clock in the morning? Like,
It was just too many piles, and I questioned. I was like, you know what? Did Jesse Smollett did he need help? Was there something else going on? Because that just went through great lengths, like I said, to create something about a hate crime is intense. And he knows his people was going to rally behind him. I'm not even going to stunt. He knew that he had community and support that was going to say, look, if y'all doing anything to this man, we going to get in the paint and we going to find out. But, in court, my real issue is what he said was like, look, I'm not suicidal. It's because he felt like he was going to experience what Epstein experienced. He felt like the minute they took him into custody, that he was going to die in the custody. That's what his lawyer tried to profess. That he's not crazy. He said what he said because many people, once taken into custody, there's accidents that happen, and there's lots of men of color and men, period, who lose their lives in the process.
Yeah.
So he wanted to go on record, like, if I accidentally die or something happens, don't believe the hype. They did this to me.
Yeah. It's hard though, because his word don't mean a lot right now.
yeah,
So
like,
that's
like you
that's
gotta come like, all right. So let's move on to another segment, you guys. So we got this new segment that we want to introduce to everybody. It is called the Trauma Moment of the Week. This week is hashtag Better Days. So we're just gonna talk about a moment this week when we felt drained. Being that this episode is about Black fatigue or just feeling drained and tired, we're gonna talk about a trauma thing this week, or a story where we just felt drained, exhausted, or that just put the icing on the cake of us feeling drained. Yes, let's start with you. What's your trauma moment? What happened that you just was like,
what
I'm
happened?
sick of this
Well,
bitch?
this week at my job was parent teacher conferences. So we had parents coming in and out to talk about their kids. And, credit to the parents. They were really great. I think what really just I was sick and tired was the fact that I was at work from 8 o'clock in the morning to 7:30 at night. And we've been talking so much about like there's a teacher shortage, there's an educator shortage, and people are really trying to pretend like they don't know why this is the case. But like that was exhibit A. Exhibit A. Why you got me at work till 7:30 at night? Like, are you dumb? Are you dumb? Like, I have a life. I have a life. And these schools will look you dead in your face and be like, oh, you need to grade papers while you're on your way home.
I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck away from me. You bitches have nothing going on.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
No.
And I'm just like, I feel like educators are taken advantage of a lot and they use the kids as a leverage to take advantage of educators because they know that educators, we love our kids. We do the work that we do because we want kids to thrive and to flourish. And so they kind of like use them as like, well, do it for the kids. Do it for the kids. And so then you feel guilty because you're like, shit, like I'm exhausted. I'm drained. I want to take a day off, but I can't do it because then the kids are gonna be like, where you at? What are you, So I'm just, yeah, I'm this close, y'all, to getting the fuck up out of education.
Who you telling? What about you, Day?
Honestly, like my exhaustion kind of stems from, I made a whole career change. I'm gonna say it just like this. In the field of social work, I feel like you have the options of doing so many different things. And I went from a hospital setting to in education. And I feel like the stress has not proven to be any different because as a person of color, I feel like we're treated like workhorses in every environment. There's the pressure for us to do our very best in every environment to outshine other people. And then because we do that, because we're so diligent in that effort, then they work us even harder. Like, look, I know they want to be the best. I know they want to outshine. I know they want to succeed. So I'm going to put more on their plate because they're always going to feel the need to prove themselves. So I feel like that exhaustion comes from societal pressure that says I'm not entitled to rest and I got to grind harder than everybody else.
I'm with you on that. So my trauma, where do I start? So we have, I was teaching, right? And this one student said, he just was yelling in the class. And I'm like, at first I couldn't make out what he was saying.
Somebody speaking another language. I don't speak that.
He just and then after I made it out, this motherfucker yelling, y'all suck dick, I suck titties. Y'all suck dick, I suck titties.
He was scatting on him and going to rap.
Yeah, like he was rapping on them. Like he thought he was shedding. It was like a hustle and flow type moment. Like he was in that bitch like the 8 Mile or some shit, like a rap battle with that motherfucker. So I'm like, come here. So I call his mama. I'm like, hey mom, he in the classroom saying inappropriate stuff. Before I even get that out, oh, I'm just so sick of y'all teachers calling me. What was he saying inappropriate? Y'all can't never tell me what he said. So me being the motherfucker I was like, you want me to tell you? She said, yeah. So I'm like, I already told her I was in front of the classroom, but she didn't care. So I was like, well, he was in here saying that we suck dick and he sucked titties. I don't know if you think that's appropriate, but I don't think that's appropriate, bro. She took no accountability. She transferred the conversation from that to I just find it inappropriate that the kids in there doing gay shit and the teachers laughing at it. I said,
What?
So anyway, I got cursed out in that phone call. But me being the motherfucker I am, you not about to curse me out on the phone that I pay my bill to, because my mama don't even curse me out. So I hung up on that motherfucking ass. Like, bitch, you could cuss the down tone off. So the bitch called me back, y'all. She called me back. And when she called me back, I was like, don't do it. But then something was like, cuss that bitch out.
I'ma fuck you up. When I see you, I'ma drag you, ho. I'ma drag you, bitch. How about that, bitch? Go suck and think what you do best, you silly bitch.
So I was like, what's up? Well, hello? She was like, oh, it's inappropriate that you want me to say something to my son, but it's inappropriate that you hang up on me. She gonna tell me I must not know her. She'll have my ass beat. I get my ass beat. I was like, bitch, beat my ass. The
I
kids
get out
looking.
at 3 p.m. like
Yo, I'm yelling at her, beat my ass. I'm like, bro, like you got like now. So now start this happened like Wednesday, Tuesday. So every day I'll be outside like just waiting to get my ass beat.
I want to fight. I want to fight. I want to fight. I want to fight. Who want to fight?
Like beat my ass because there's two things I'm gonna do. First I'm gonna fall on the ground and get you locked up, but then I'm also gonna jump up and just mace the tongue out that bitch mouth. Like I was gonna mace her. I ain't gonna hit no female, but I was gonna mace her ass, and then I was gonna get the two little kids a little spray, like I was gonna spray both of her kids too, like, and then I was gonna go about my day, just So that was my trauma, y'all. So the trauma in that was that, like, I'm trying to change, y'all. I'm really trying to change, but the devil keep coming back. Like he keep coming back, like, and this time he came in the form of a parent.
I feel that. I empathize. I can relate.
Yes,
It's hard.
100%.
It's hard. Because these parents really they really try to sit there and argue with you about what their kids do at school where you're in front of them and the parents are not. And I'm like, I'm with your child more than you're with your child. So like, please, like you're the one who don't know who your kid is. Okay. I know who your kid is. I'm with them like 8, 9 hours of the day.
On top of that, what joy do I got in calling you lying on your kid? Like, why am I just calling you to make up a lie?
If
Like,
you embarrassed, sis, just say that. Just say that. These little raggedy ones that you raising just came up here. Wow,
I just came to the
I said, like that's you. You raised them. Get them.
I just came to the conclusion that she be at home rapping. Like at this point, she'll want to be rapper. And he just was rapping some of his mama lyrics. Like that's what, cause But yes,
Oh man. All right. So this is a perfect segue because I was gonna say Zay. I'm getting there.
Zagway.
I'm getting there.
I like the Zagway.
Okay, this is a perfect segue. So that we can start talking about, like our Black fatigue topic. So when did y'all realize that y'all were tired of like being and feeling tired?
I'm so sorry that I've been acting weird for the past several months. I've been struggling mentally. Bing.
I feel like when I started to relate to that color purple line, like all my life I had to fight. I feel like I started to embody that joint. I was like, I was getting up right there. And I'm like, oh, I'm tired of this. When that started to have a deeper connection with me, that's when I realized I was experiencing Black fatigue. Like,
So I realized it when I come home and I don't have the energy to do nothing but to get in the shower, maybe make something to eat, but then to just sit on the couch and watch. And it's like not even the energy to talk to people. Like people will call and I'll be like, y'all not tired? Like, but I'm at the age where my friends be tired too. They just be sitting on the couch too, just like sleeping shit. Like, so I realize that shit when I be coming in and don't feel like making dinner. Like, I'll be like, yeah, it's a sandwich type night for me. It's sandwich and chips for me tonight. Like,
Yeah.
So
I realized that I was tired of being tired when I would just come into my house and just sit somewhere and do nothing. I would just sit like this. Like just for like 50 minutes straight, just sitting there. And I guess that was my way of like decompressing and just trying to like, I guess mentally process the day that I had. Cause I think that like physically I would constantly be moving and doing stuff, but mentally I was behind. Like I wasn't processing things at the same rate as I was doing them. So when I would get home, it was just like me sitting down was just like dumping all of the like, the stresses of the day. And yeah, so today, like Day mentioned, we're talking about Black fatigue and, how it manifests itself in our community, what we can do to combat it, like some warning signs that we can observe to know, like maybe it's time to take a step back. So our first question that we wanted to discuss is like, why do we think that people of color sometimes feel like we need to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders? Where do you think that comes from?
So I'll say, in my opinion, I think that comes from generational trauma. Because tying it back to all the stuff that people of color went through, we had to be tough and workers, and then from that, those traumas was ingrained into our great grandparents and grandparents. So they internalize that trauma and pass it on to their kids. Like it's been many times that we be giving a speech like, you a black child, you gotta be 10 times better, you gotta be 9 times this, you can't take nothing from nobody, you gotta always get this, you gotta always get that. And then conversations like that begins to put more and more weight on the person's shoulder. Like, oh my God, I can't fail. I gotta be successful for all these people that's behind me, for all these people that was before me. And I think stuff like that puts a trauma weight, if that's what I want to call it, onto somebody's shoulder. Like like it's failure is not an option. You know.
Yeah. I feel that sometimes, like, I'm gonna hold you. Sometimes I'll be sucking dick and I want to stop so bad. I want to stop so bad because I can't keep going. But
But you
I
can't
hear, I hear something like, go, go, go. This is not this is not how we raise you. You keep pushing.
Finish
You
it.
keep
Finish the
going.
job.
Finish that
Finish
mission.
the job.
If
Finish the
the soul
mission.
leave the body,
Finish that fucking
Yes,
job.
yes. And then when I finally make it, I just collapse on the floor and I hear my ancestors all clapping, like, yes, see, yes.
And you just wait for somebody to drop a towel on your face or something, like
Yeah.
to wipe your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that happen. I do that. I'm not saying I do that. I'll just
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
What about you, Dana? Why do you think people of color feel like we should carry the weight of the world on our shoulders?
I think we're just subjected to what we call conditioning. When you do something long enough in society, it becomes a social normative. Like we feel like it has to happen. If your grandma's grandma was like, you got to work and this is what you have to do, it becomes second nature. It's like almost ingrained in our DNA to sit there and to perform and to get tasks done. And it's not until you're exposed to other ways of living or other qualities of life that you realize I don't have to work this hard. Everybody out here is not doing this all around the world. Like American culture, not just the culture for people of color, but American culture says I must work a minimum of 40 hours a week. That was something that was set up by people like Henry Ford way back when he decided to say, like, I need y'all cranking out these cars. These motherfucking cars gotta get on the lot because I gotta make this money. So once he established that as the norm, we all just fell in line. We could have siestas, we could have breaks. There's nothing that you can't do in the next day. Everybody knows this. You can leave work and it'll still be there tomorrow and the next day. But we treat it like if I don't get it done right now, the world's gonna blow up. Everything is going to fall apart. And that's why we create a pressure cooker situation for ourselves.
Fuck a deadline.
Bitch, what I look like to you motherfucking whores? Do I look that stupid to you, bitch? Bitch, you better have a check ready, bitch. Sent over ASAP.
Fuck a deadline. That is where I'm at now mentally. Like, because I went crazy before. Like, my previous job, like it was deadline driven. Like they used to be only like this to do this to do that, and then like I used to be like, oh, I gotta hurry up and get this. I can't do this. I gotta get this done. I gotta do it when I'm at home because I'm gonna miss the deadline. I got enough time in the day. But then like I really like woke up one day and was like, fuck a deadline.
Yes.
Fuck if I'm not gonna get it done. To whom it may concern, this task will not be completed on the due date. Fuck you talk about? Catch me.
You know, I think, Day, you brought up a good point about like it being American culture because, like for example, I think it was like Finland or Switzerland or one of the lands that started introducing a 4-day work week. In Spain, when I went to Spain, my friend and I, we noticed that like from the hours of 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., the streets were dead. And it was literally because they were taking siestas, because they were literally taking naps to get ready for dinner. Like, it's like all of these things that we think we're conditioned to think are like rewards for working hard. Like you can't experience those things unless you earned it. And it's like, the fuck? Like that is false. Like I am in control of my own body, of my own brain. I can set myself my own schedule to work the way I want to work. I don't need to overwork myself. You know, I can be productive without needing to be worked till 8 o'clock at night every day. And then, you know, something that I think about is how like people use this logic to kind of be like, oh, this is why we become entrepreneurs. This is why I choose to work for myself. But They will tell you those first few years of entrepreneurship, you're working more than 40 hours a week. You're
Mhm.
still in the same wheel of like overproduction, overworking yourself. And yes, granted, you eventually reach success and you get to a point where you can outsource and it's time for you to rest now. But it comes because you have to overwork yourself for so many years prior. And like, I just don't want to work. Like,
So I got 2 questions. My first question is, what the fuck is a siesta? Like, I never heard that shit before.
Yes, like
What's a
see,
siesta?
it's something that I feel like we got to start to introduce. Like I don't know,
It
I've
sound
been
like
taking my
it
own
sound like a
personal
taco to
siestas.
me.
I
It
go
sound like
on
a taco.
siesta. I call out Black often. I'm like, I'm sorry, experiencing Black fatigue. I won't be at work today. Sorry, you won't hear from me. But the reality of it is the siesta is a duration of time during the day where the workday is seized and you are allowed to go home and have like a 3 hour, like a nap, a lunch, a walk. You can exercise, sleep, and eat all at the same time. And this is
Oh.
happening all around the world. I had did a webinar with a woman who was in I don't want to, I'm not certain, but it was like somewhere on the other side of the world. We're just gonna say that. And so when we did the webinar, she had expressed to me, she was like, yeah, like we do this all the time. That's our way of life. You guys experience burnout and exhaustion because you don't have a set break. And we feel like excited, like you said, conditioned to accept the fact that, oh, I get a vacation. I'm working to get a vacation. I'm working for my own time. Time is free. This is what we don't realize. That's the biggest justice that they got us on. Time is
Mhm.
free, right? I shouldn't have to work a certain amount of hours to be allowed to have back my own time. But
yep.
Ooh.
And
no, but
it's not allowed.
Not you just opened my third eye, like,
like,
oh man.
No, for real. And it's not
Wow, that is
allowed.
what's going on.
That's what I hate is the allowed part of like, wow, like I really got to ask permission
For my
to take a
time.
day
my
off. Like,
time.
what?
For my time. So, have you guys ever felt guilty for resting?
Hell yeah.
Yep. Just
Do you
this
think that
week,
conditioned us? Okay.
I just had my midwinter break from school. And I
Mm-hmm.
actually, you remember, I texted you, Zay. We were texting a little bit about it. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
had days where I was just sitting on the couch reading my book, doing nothing. I was living, I was thriving, I was happy to do
Of
nothing.
nothingness. Of
But in the
nothingness.
back of my brain, I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking, damn, Yessie, this should be a time where you're working on your personal projects. This should be a time where you're learning how to start a side business so that you can make passive income. Right now you're being too lazy. You're being too lazy right now. You should be doing something. You should be doing something. And I didn't do anything. I didn't listen to the fucking voice, but still, it was there and it was making me feel so uncomfortable because I was like, yo, there's no fucking way that like I'm really like what is going on? And it was just it's hard. It's hard to
Mm-hmm.
navigate that. Yeah.
What about you, Dayna? When have you felt guilty for resting?
110%. The same thing. I recently came on a vacation and I actually started my vacation early. I was like, man, fuck these kids. But I decided that, it was really important for me to just take rest. I was acknowledging that I was getting to my breaking point. And when I'm like that, I tend to like dissociate from the task. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I may become more avoidant. I'm not going to touch the paperwork. I'm not going to open the laptop. So when I start to feel like that, it's my personal check-in. So I was like, I'm leaving on vacation before I'm even being told it's acceptable for me to leave on vacation because I know what I need better than somebody else can tell me what I need. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what got me is I was getting emails and calls on vacation. So, like, now I have an email alert that says, I ain't here, don't call me, don't contact me, leave me alone. Right? That's the little email response that comes back. But some people felt the need 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, I have a very hard time getting good rest. I tell people it's so hard for me to get a good night's sleep. The level of work that I have to do, the conversations that I have with people on a daily basis can come with its own like weighted pressure. So I tell people sleep is so essential and I have to be in good spaces. So now I'm in my little king size hotel bed. I'm flicking it up. I'm having a good time and I'm sleeping. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting phone calls like, even though I know you're not here today, there's a concern here. I got kids who were emailing, their teachers were even telling them it's okay to email her. Like it's cool, you can drop her a little message. They were emailing me like, I know you on vacation and whatnot, but when you get back, this is what I need to discuss. And I've experienced that pretty much at every job I ever been to, where employers didn't hesitate, where my clients didn't hesitate to contact me, because it's like, bitch, who are you to go on a vacation and soak up the sun? And then I
Yep.
felt bad because I think that we as people of color, we suffer from what they call imposter syndrome, where we feel like, am I entitled to rest? Am I entitled to greatness? Am I entitled to all of these things? We always question ourselves about what we're supposed to have and what we're supposed to be doing, when there's
Mhm.
times when we don't have to do anything. And that
Yep.
was like the weighted situation for me.
Yeah.
In
So
France, they actually made it illegal for your bosses to email you on the weekends.
So we
Like
out
it's straight. Yeah,
on the
basically that's
print.
what I was saying. I'm glad you caught on to that day. Basically, I'm saying let's book our flight so that we can move to France because they respect
okay.
you there.
Woo, that'll do it. You don't have to worry about me. You do not have to worry about me.
Yeah.
In France, yes. Okay, we on our way. Also, so I feel like I'm a person. I used to feel guilty about resting. Now I don't. Now I'll be like, nah, I'm watching TV. I'm good. Like if you call me at a certain time, what I did now versus my previous job that I was there for like 2 years, and now I'm here at this job, which is also my second year at this one. And they both was in New York, but it's just two different environments. One was deadline driven. This one is not so much deadline driven, but they do contact you throughout any time. So what I did was gave a fake number, not a fake number. I gave them a Google number, like
Yes.
so I could turn my Google number off. Like so you can't even it'll give you a dial tone like sorry, you gotta wait till not to 7 a.m. to contact this person. So I started doing stuff like that to get my rest. Like even be to the fact that I'll be watching TV and my friend be like, you always just sitting chilling watching TV. This is my me time, sir. This is my me time. Like this is my like watching TV shows and getting caught up. It's like actually restful for me. Like I'm at a place where no longer I feel guilty. Like you can't make me feel guilty for stuff. So I heard Day say something about burnout rate, right? So what are some break indicators? What are some indicators in you guys' life that you know like, oh, I need a break. Like, oh, I need to calm down. Like, or like is it like you snapping on people, mood swings? What are some indicators that you like, okay, I'm sick of this shit.
Like I said, I would say like avoidance, task avoidance. When you notice things that you can do and it's like a reasonable task, but you still kind of find yourself trying to get out of it. Like when I find myself trying to get out of like simple things, even like you said, the idea of not cooking yourself a meal. Like I know for a fact I'm trying to get snatched for the summer, trying to get that body yada yada on. And I tell myself like it is better for me to sit here and prepare my own food. But like I said, you know what? I use the fact that I'm tired. I do. I say like I'm that you tired, you worked, you had a long day. So, Uber eats it, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Zap it, make it
I
quick.
love her.
Just all
Yes.
those little things that become a tell for you.
Yeah. For me, like I get a little like snippy, like I get annoyed at just like the littlest things. And what's crazy about it is that I'm like aware that I'm doing the most, right? Like I'm aware that it's not a situation that I gotta be this annoyed with, but I'm just annoyed. And then also like I carry all my tension like right here on like this part of my shoulders and stuff. And when
Mm-hmm.
like I feel
You
like
think
it's
that's
really
from like
hard
sucking
and
dick though?
maybe, possibly,
Okay, that's
maybe
Okay.
like the
also
back
like,
of the neck though. That's like,
yeah, yeah, I would say it's a
Um,
whole bunch of things. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Funny enough, like that's how I relieve the pressure though.
Okay.
That's how I
Okay.
relieve it. But yeah,
Mhm.
like I noticed like it'll be mad hard and tense, and I'm like, okay, that's because I'm carrying a lot. Like, and it just I don't know how that works. Like, because other people have different parts of their bodies
Yeah.
where tension manifests itself. I don't know. For me, it's there, but yeah, that lets me know like, okay, yeah, see, I think it's time to take it
Yeah.
back.
So for me is I love making to-do lists, but for me it's when I wake up and I'm thinking about my to-do list. Like if
mm,
I wake up and in my mind I'd be going through a checklist like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. I find that very, very difficult for me because a lot of times in our head, and I make to-do lists because I feel like in our head, our to-do lists just keep playing over and over and it make it feel pressure. Like it make it feel like it's way more than you have to do. But when you actually write it down, you be like, oh, I could do this. But in your head, it'd be like, oh, it's not enough time in the day. I don't know how to do this. So when I have a to-do list playing over in my head, I be like, yeah, I need a motherfucking break. Like I ain't doing none of that shit on the to-do list to sit the fuck down list. So I write it down and stick it somewhere. They be like, I'll get to it when I get to it because today not the day for me. So
Absolutely. Did
that's
y'all
that on
see
that.
really quickly? Did y'all see the like everybody's coming at Kim Kardashian because there was like some little clip where they were talking about, you know, how they became like business women or whatever. She was like, I got the best advice for women who want to get into business. Get up and fucking work. And everybody was like, you a tone deaf ass bitch because you grew up rich, ho. You grew up rich. You
She grew up
literally never
rich.
struggled a day in your life. So to have the audacity to tell people to just get up and fucking work as if her 24 hours are the same as our 24 hours is fucking beyond me. It's
But
beyond me.
But you know what? You know what? There's times where I feel for the Kardashian family because Kris Jenner is the motherfucking goat. She be pimping the shit out of them kids. All right,
Like
like
when you say pimping, like literally pimping them, like nigga to
pimping
nigga,
the
like
hell out of them kids, allegedly. But she be pimping the hell out of them kids. Okay. But
Yup.
I feel like the minute she flipped the sex tape, it wasn't Kim that flipped the sex tape. It was her mother that flipped the sex tape and was like, well, you won't get on your knees? You's officially, you my hoe now. You my hoe now. This is what you about to do. You about to pimp that
Yeah.
ass all around network and fashion and media and
exactly.
TV shows, and you got to get to the money. So I feel like a part of what she was trying to say is there's different ways of securing the bag. Your father is no longer here. He is no longer the bag for us. You signed up for this. Since you want to go run around sucking dick, all right, this is what you're going to do. So I
Hmm.
mean,
Yeah.
like from her perspective, I can't say that she's not a workhorse because it's been set up that way for her. Like now you got
Right,
to feed
right.
us, all of us. She got a
Yeah.
lot of brothers and
Hmm.
sisters.
Was it a workhorse or was she like a fuck horse? Like did she fuck her way to the top?
Is
Like, cause it was like rich nigga to rich nigga to rich niggas to rich nigga
that
to
not work?
to billionaire.
It's still work. It is work though. I
I
ain't gonna say
mean,
that.
It is work.
she
It's
did all
sex
of
work.
that.
It's sex work.
She did all of that to end up with a dude from Staten Island. So my sis is really like, this is her breaking point. Listen, this is her breaking point. She got a dude from Staten
A
Island.
break indicator. A break
That is her
indicator for
break
her
indicator.
ass.
Like she
A
ended up
break
going
it.
backwards.
Right. When
Yes,
I knew she needed a break when she wrapped herself in that yellow tape the other day. I knew she needed a break. I was like, sis need a nap.
for
But what you
sure.
got to say, Essie?
So I was gonna say, you know, we're getting close to ending this episode, and we want to end it in a very helpful note for like our viewers and our listeners. So, what are some tips that you all have for like one, acknowledging that you need a break, and then two, like you know, resting more, and like what are some things that we can do to you know help our bodies and our brains, you know, get the rest that they need.
Rest for me used to be sex. But there's also a thin line. Like it could turn into rest to now feeling like a duty, and like it could be a way for you to suppress some things that you really don't need to suppress. Cause so it's a thin line with sex. Also some people smoke weed. Like get your 420 on. Like get you like spark you something up and just sit back and smoke and just relax. Um Personally now I like TV shows. Like I like binge watching a TV show. Like I like just sitting, drinking my wine, just watching a show. Like ooh, like and this bitch reacting to myself. Like ooh, I know she did it. Like Bel Air is my new rest. Like I watch Bel Air. This Is Us. Like I be in that bitch. Like ooh, I be calling my friend. Like bro, did you see This Is Us this week? That shit was sad. Like so that's rest for me. I don't know what are some tips that you could give some people,
You know,
Dana?
I tell people this all of the time. Like, first, I have to acknowledge that I'm entitled to rest. That's the first part of it. Accepting it is the key. If you feel like, oh no, I have so many things to do, who am I to take a break? No, I got to own it. I have to say out loud, I have to vocalize. You're entitled to rest. Sit your ass down. That's step one. Something that people don't realize also become a really key factor in setting up good rest for yourself is making your bed before you leave your house. So many people don't realize that you leave out of the house in a hurry. Most of the time, people do not make their bed, but having a place to come back to that's of comfort to you is important. We don't allow ourselves time to come back to safe spaces where I can easily get into the bed and relieve myself for the rest of the day. I got to do work just when I get home. Oh, I got to get this out the way. I got to fix this up. I got to clean this up. How you leave your house is just a testament of a way of how you can allow yourself to get a physical space where you're comfortable. So I feel like once I acknowledge the things that I need for myself, I carve it in. I do yoga. I have an alarm on my phone that reminds me at 8 p.m. that no matter what I'm doing, that I have to meditate. I have to meditate and I have to do yoga. I have to relinquish myself from sound. I have to light my candles. My sage has to go throughout the house just to interest the calming. And I encourage other people to do the same, creating a self-care routine, creating a plan. It's okay to say, I'm going to watch hours of television. It's okay to say that I'm going to prepare my favorite snack or meal, but you almost have to make it conscious. You almost have to allow yourself to be mindful and present to say, at this time or during this period, I am removing myself from other people. I'm turning my phone down because just the light from your phone is its own distraction. The notifications that come on your phone is its own distraction. Being able to safely put your phone on do not disturb is also creating a safe space for yourself and allowing
I
anyone
love Do
who
Not Disturb.
contacts you to know that I'm not with the shit. I'm in my own personal space bubble. So it's the little things that we don't think about that we can help ourselves get the necessary rest or get the necessary breaks that we have to be willing to acknowledge we need so that we can take them.
Absolutely. I like those tips. I love the sleep feature on the iPhones now. I love it because at 9:30 that shit tells everybody she
Yeah.
done. She
It
done. She not
tell
listening.
her when they try to text, they be like,
Yeah.
she sleep.
And
Like,
I love that. I really
our phone
do.
tapped in. They done tapped in.
I think you need to set boundaries. Like I've set boundaries for myself at work. At 4:30, I'm out. I don't care who's in the building. I don't care what's going on. At 4:30, I'm out of that building. And I only learned that because in my previous jobs, I knew what it was like to stay till 6 o'clock every day, 6:30, just to be back at 6 in the morning to do the same thing. So I established those boundaries, and it's hard at first to stay faithful to them. But once you get the stride and once you get used to it, ain't nobody telling you nothing, and then you start feeling more confident upholding those boundaries against other people. Because I've had times where people like, oh, you leaving? And I'm like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. And what about it? And what about it? And then I'm trying something that I want to incorporate is like at least one day a week where I don't do like social media or like anything at all, like a digital detox for the day, just because there's like constant stuff and information that, like, even though you're mindlessly scrolling and you're thinking that you're not absorbing it, you are subconsciously absorbing so much of what you're seeing and reading and stuff. So just a day where like I don't got to worry about texting nobody, I don't got to worry about nobody's Instagram or my Instagram, and just chilling and being in the moment, I think is great.
So we do this thing where in mental health, I require people to pick a focal point, right? So when you leave work for the day, it's like you have to find an object out in the world, whether it's a front door, a light post, or a car, and you stare at it. You stare at it for approximately 5 seconds and you repeat back to yourself, whatever happened today, the events of the day, I leave it here. I don't take it with me for the remainder of the day. Like, you unpack it right there. The debriefing was in that 5 seconds.
Message.
That was
Message.
I like that. I like that. Yeah.
We need to use that little sound, that little ding, ding, ding.
That was my baby blocker alarm.
Oh shit.
But it's okay. Listen, it was a sign that it played right when you were saying that, because that's great advice.
That is good advice to do something like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully these tips and these tricks like help others to, feel more comfortable accepting rest and feeling worthy enough of it, because they are. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Day, for rocking with us this episode and for giving us so much
fun.
Oh my goodness, you dropped so many gems and we're so grateful to you. And thank you to everybody who watched and listened to this episode. Make sure that you stay tuned. Our next episode comes out on March 27th. Yes. And of course, as always, we need to leave you with something to think about. So Zay, take it away.
So as we sit back and we ponder about break and resting resting. I have a question for you guys to think about. So, do you think Beyonce wipes her ass and then smells the tissue? And on
All right. And that's the end of this episode. Thank y'all so much. Have a great day.